And so we are very lucky to have a global leader in the area of lawful targeted surveillance technologies, which is Paolo Lezzi, which is chairman of In the Cyber and Memento Labs, which it's a company that recently acquired a company called Hacking Team, which many of you may know, but it was in the news lately. You all read about the hack of Jeff Bezos, and among the report that was done by this commissioned by Mr. Bezos, reported as an Israeli company NSO group or Hacking Team, which previous work as being the most advanced malware that possibly have been used for this. So Paolo is an expert not only as far as the leading of companies expertise in making this malware, but also on the problems that are facing with this issue, this market, in order to promote the public good and all the goods that want in society. So, okay, we can see that. Okay, so I guess I introduced the general issues that has happened with the Bezos affair, and I'd like to ask Paolo, what do you think is how do we improve the attribution of these affairs? Because we know to some extent that that device hacked this other device, but do we know who used that device? Who is actually done the reporting? Is this independent? What are the conflicts of interest? Did the video file was analyzed? So there's a lot of things we don't know, and then who used the device of that? And then what are the standards that are applied to these tools? So is there an international standard that ensure that these tools are used right, or maybe these tools are in turn hacked by some other actors because they're hackable? And there's a lot of documentation going back 40 years about this stuff. So let's have Paolo answer this first.
Thank you, Ufo, and good evening to everyone. So first of all, I want to say that the thing of cyber attribution is something that is a very crucial point now and in the future. If you think of cyber warfare, so that when you think an attack that is a problem of national security, the first thing is really that you must be sure who is attacking. And nowadays it's very difficult. The first time, so and it is crucial even because now states are saying, if I'm attacked in a cyber way, I can't reply in the traditional way with a genetic event. And the first example we had is when Iran this summer attacked the oil ships. And the reply from the states was to hack the systems that have launched the missiles. Or the inverse scenario, always last year, was Israel was attacked cyberly. You can say cyberly.
Like bigly, Trump introduced bigly, so we can introduce cyberly.
It comes out in this way. Cyberly, attacked cyberly the Ministry of Defense of Israel, and in half an hour, 1 hour after, the building that the Israeli forces recognizes of the origin of the attack was completely destroyed. So this is the place where we live now. So cyber attribution is very crucial. So going to the gossip thing of Bezos, there is this report of FTI Consulting, commissioned by the the UN Nations. Is a very poor report, I have to say. They just took a tool and checked the phone of business. Or the thing is that in this way they didn't find much, but no one has still taken the video sent by WhatsApp and analyzed in the right way. Because if you do really analyze of that, you reverse it, you can find which is the malware which is inside. Then you can do attribution. And this report was very at the end was saying that the possible company that developed that type of malware could be NSO, the famous Israeli company, or less likely hacking team. This is the old name of the company we acquired in last year. So from that moment, for Friday, I was called from, let's say, 10 American journalists of big papers that they wanted to know if truly we were involved. So it's like you are not thinking what happened if you write something in this moment in the world. If you write something, it is immediately public, worldwide, and you are giving attribution to someone. So no one knows, even if, as Rufo said, if the phone of the prince was used by the prince itself, or the WhatsApp account of the prince was used from another device or from the web in order to manage the things. So with these big people, we don't know. So this is important in any case, because the use of this type of tools must be used in the proper way. So there is, of course, a need from law enforcement and intelligence services to find a way to have information. Now that the traditional phone interception, calls interception doesn't work anymore. Because if you plug in parallel in the telecom operator and listen to the call, you don't have anything now. So it means if someone wants to speak with someone other in a confidentiality way, will use the thousands or hundreds of apps available for call or even for messaging. And in a normal way, you don't have any possibility to go into, because these are encrypted. This is encrypted traffic. So this is why they have the need to use advanced tools in order to work inside these things during an investigation. We are among the companies that develop these tools for the investigations. These tools have the aim to be used for licit investigation, legitimate investigations. The question is that we cannot control completely what we do, but we apply to the international laws. We ask for authorization for the export each time to the National Commission on to have the approval. They approve also each time the content of the training we do on the use of the software. So first of all, we are not selling to countries that are not legitimate from this point of view. But the argumentation we receive is how could you know if it is not used for mass surveillance? Mass surveillance is a very bad thing. It means that you can't control a political dissident or something like this, or the journalists. no.
Okay, great. Thank you, Paolo. No, it's been, of course, it's a very wide area of discussion. In fact, with Paolo, we said, okay, we had to choose a very narrow because there's really so much to focus. But I really wanted to open the floor on this because it's something that it's really, there's so much wide, the complexity of it and possibly disinformation, not possibly, lots of disinformation, willful disinformation. Let's say it because that's the core of the problem. So, does anyone have questions on these issues and what could be done about it on these problems? I like Paolo. Okay, so I do have some. So basically, some of the problems that Paul outlined could be resolved. I want to ask Paolo by better standards which are imposed to device makers. So companies like Paolo are not offering a device; they're offering a service, which has you have an infrastructure that manages certain things.
We sell the platform.
You just sell a platform. Okay. Well, so I guess what I'm trying to say is that they should be selling a service. They shouldn't just sell a piece of thing now that is used. They should be responsible for the infrastructure that is used to deploy these things. There are techniques that are being suggested by certain experts by which these tooling exploits could be limited in doing only certain things that has been authorized by law. There are ways in which you can limit the extent by which these tools can be used for purposes that were not fit. For example, your competitor, NSO Group, stated saying it wasn't us, and implicitly saying it was your company, by saying because the design of our software prevents it to be used in a different way. There are a huge amount of complexities here. There are no independent standards to know if they're doing what they're doing. But there are many people who are saying that these standards, there are requirements that could be put in place, certificates could be put in place, but they are not there. And so they could be there and basically applying some of the standards that we are proposing for endpoint security, paradoxically, will make it more accountable for those tools that are actually used to hacking to these secure systems.
So this is an important point, and we are discussing with some authorities of this problem because first of all, these tools must be secure, and as there is a market now, many companies, small companies, are coming out with smaller tools that cost, of course, much less. But if you have, so you can find on internet there were many cases of use of these, let's say, cheap tools from law enforcement agencies around the world that were completely unsecure. So giving danger to the agency itself, to the person investigated, because his phone became available from anyone that could access to that, because it was not encrypted even the communication. And another point was that another example was that they used an app in the Google Play that could be downloaded from anyone. Mixed, so the tool was fused inside a normal app renamed. So one was downloading that app for a specific purpose, but the malware was inside, and anyone could see what was inside. Connecting to that could see what was inside this phone. So this is something that asks for regulations, international regulations on these tools, and even if it is regulated and only companies with strong standards recognized, then you must have also a national platform that is, let's say, that give that control of the process. It means if the judge ask ask for an investigation, he must habilitate. So I just say it could be a national blockchain with the judge that say, okay, prosecute this one, investigate on this one, but with this function. So a surveillance platform can do many things. All the things that you can do in a phone or in a computer, you can access to anything. But, for instance, our platform can give for each attacker the possibility to activate only the function that the judge has said. It means only record the calls, or only take pictures, or only go to that, only from these days at this time to these days this time. This must be controlled and tracked. So if something happens, you know which is the operator that has done this and when. This is something that we must implement in the way most secure possible, but controlled. So this is going, of course, in what also Trustless is proposing, but there is a complexity that can be discussed, of course.
Yeah, I agree 100%, and I want to also add one other element by which these kind of limitations, they may seem something that is limiting the ability of these tools to pursue their goals. Because now you have to have too many requirements, limit these tools, become complex. At the end, are actually benefiting law enforcement. The Minister of Interior of France and Germany last year, they went on a press release together saying they called the government to do something about having ways to have front door access, because even though they could hack in any device, the evidence they acquired through malware, it's not standing in court to the Supreme Court. It happened in France, it happened in Germany, it happened in Italy. Because this malware, they go there, you cannot exclude the fact that this malware was overused beyond the authority of the judge. You can exclude that there were multiple malware there, or 3 or 4 malware planted evidence. And so, paradoxically, it would seem that these limitations would limit the work of law enforcement. Instead, they actually make it cleaner and make better law enforcement as well. So, okay, I think we're a bit beyond the time. Of course, with this kind of arguments, we're just scratching the surface. Hopefully, we have a new conference soon with even other guests. And thanks for Paolo for coming over.
Thank you.